The transformation of sight, the midnight of the soul. What we see here today is a state of faith that gets transformed as we come to see Christ clearer. John begins with this. Now, on the first day of the week, very early in the morning, while it was still dark. This is not merely just a chronological marker. It is a spiritual, it is a theological condition of the heart. We come to find Jesus in the dark. But when Mary saw, the stone was moved. And so she was filled with grief, sadness, because she went there expecting to see a dead Jesus. She wanted that body to be in the grave. But when she saw the stone move, she was filled with grief. Now, this is the theology of despair. It's actually very common. Even though we have the resurrected hope, we are always filled with despair. We want to find a Jesus that is in the tomb. And when we see the stone removed, the only explanation is that someone has robbed and carried his body away. We are unable to see the miraculous. We can only see the tragedy, the pain, the hurt, because that is our condition of darkness. We come to the tomb in the dark to find a dead Jesus. What we see informs us that there's something that is bad is happening here. When we see things happening in our lives, we immediately conclude the worst possible thing had happened. Someone had robbed the tomb. But that's not the story here. Presumption of absence. Like Mary, we often look at the empty spaces in our lives and assume, and these empty spaces are the failed plans, the unanswered prayer. We assume that God is absent. Jesus is dead. He is powerless. Those are the assumptions that we make in our lives when we come to the grave to worship, but we don't see the miracles. We don't see the life. We see the emptiness, and we are afraid, and we fill with grief. And this is a fog that comes over our minds. It transcends everything that we think and the way that we think and how we think. Peter and the other disciple, the beloved disciple, raced to the tomb, and John looked in, but didn't go in. Peter, that we knew, ran into the tomb. Nobody. John deliberately used different Greek terms to tell us different progressions of how we see things. The first one is blepe, the glance. John looked in, he didn't go inside, and he concluded that, body's not there. That's it. When we see the emptiness in our lives, we concluded nothing happened. The word that is used for Peter when he looked and carefully beholds the material there, it's called theotere, which means look carefully. He examines the data. The grave clothes, the folded face cloths. This is the investigative, analytical gaze that Peter is looking at the optical data. He's looking at it and he's analyzed, okay, the body is not here. There's a cloth folded. There are things on the ground. Okay, that's all I know. Peter is cataloging just like many Christians. We catalog, okay, Sunday, Saturday, prayer, word. We catalog these things. And we put them in the back of our minds, but it has no meaning, has no spiritual meaning for him. He's looking at everything, the absence of the body of Jesus, and he cannot make the connection that there is something that's miraculous that happened. He only saw the evidence, but he missed the living Christ. Peter represents those who possess a sound theological and accurate history. Many of us, myself included. We dig into historical data, we dig into theology, we dig into doctrine, we read books, but we missed the living Christ. We are still shrouded in mystery. The evidence gives us the what. We might know that the tomb was not robbed, but we missed the who. The evidence don't tell us the who. We're still shrouded in bewilderment. Let's transition to the next stage. This is the leap of insight. Now, verse 8, and the other disciple who had reached the tomb first also went in and saw and believed. Now, this word saw has a different word in Greek, eidon. Eidon means he saw, but there's a connection to something that's not visible. he believed. The perception of there's something that's miraculous had happened here. This is called the leap of faith. He has not seen the physical body of Jesus, but the fact that he was not there means something miraculous had happened. He perceived. Eidon means there is an order to this emptiness. Now, if the tomb robbers had come, like Mary had assumed, then they would not have taken the cloth over Jesus' face, folded neatly, and put it back. It would be a chaotic scene. So John concluded that something miraculous had happened. There's a leap of faith to John's sight. Something else happened. But the other disciples' illumination was incomplete. But this is the first flicker of a resurrected faith. But here is the sad conclusion to both of the disciples, whom Mary had ran and asked for help. When they came, they examined the data, they even believed. They could not help her. They could not help themselves. Sometimes the church is that way. People came hoping that the church would reveal Christ to them. But we ourselves are so blinded that we leave them empty. In verse 9, for as yet they did not understand the scripture. They examined the data. The other disciples saw and believed. But here, then the disciples went back to their homes. Still, nothing happened. They saw, they might believe, but nothing happened. The gardener of the new Eden, the fallen census, verse 11 to 15. But Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. She's not satisfied. The disciples didn't help her. She was there to find the body of Jesus, and she could not find it. His disciples, her friends, couldn't find it for her. She's left there, stood there weeping. And as she wept, she stood and looked into the tomb. This look is theoret, this examination of the facts, the actual data. Now, I'm just wondering, if the other disciples and Peter just lingered just a little bit before they ran home, would they have seen the angels? Sometimes we are so easily and in a hurry to make conclusions. Oh, there's nothing here. We run away and we missed it. But Mary, I believe that in the heart of the people, especially in our culture, we're more like Mary than we are like the other disciples and Peter. We linger. Now, Mary is not satisfied, so she lingered and she saw theoret, she saw angels and even see Jesus, but yet she could not recognize them. It's something that still shrouded her ability to see. And this is the corrupted condition of the way that we perceive things. Our vision has been corrupted. Our sight has been corrupted. The second Adam has entered into the garden of the new creation. Just as God created Eden, Jesus Christ is now the new gardener in the garden of the tomb. But Mary, corrupted senses, mistaken Jesus, her Lord, the one whom she's seeking, as a gardener. It's an irony that you can see that John is drawing out here for us. The corrupted vision causes us to be completely thwarted by the things that we are looking for. We are trying to look for Jesus, but because our eyes, our vision, our sight are unable to, because they're corrupted, we are unable to see. What Mary needed was not more Jesus appeared to her. What Mary needed and what we all needed is this one thing. It is called the Vox Christi, the voice of Christ. That's what we need. We need to be able to hear the voice of Christ that will unlock how we perceive through our vision. Our sight is not merely weak, it is fallen. Recognition requires more than optical data. It requires the voice of Jesus Christ, the voice of the Good Shepherd calling out your name. And here, in verse 16, we see, and Jesus says to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" Same question that the angels asked Mary. But here, whom are you seeking? I believe that this is the place where we must find ourselves. Even though Mary is incomplete, she saw the data, she makes the wrong conclusion, but she was there to find the one she loves. Her heart was in the right place. Is your heart in the right place? Are you here to find data that God is alive? Are you here to find Jesus, whom you love? Even though you don't understand, you can't see, he's there, and you can't recognize him. You're mistaking your Lord for a stranger. But Mary is in the right place. Mary was there. She lingered. She stayed because she was looking for her Lord. She wants to find her Jesus. Are you here to find Jesus? Or are you just looking? But if you're here to find Jesus, here is what happened. As you linger, as you look, "Sir," Mary said, "if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him." And listen to this. "And I will take him away. To me, he's dead, but he's still precious to me. He's still someone I long to embrace, to hold, to care for, even if he's dead." Do you have that heart? Is your heart in the right place? Are you looking for Jesus? Are you looking for some evidence, some miracle? She was there to look for Jesus. If you have taken away, tell me where he is. I just want to know where he is. I just want to see him, even though he's dead. Her perception is wrong, but her heart is in the right place. Let's orient our heart in the right place. And here, the transformation of her heart and the transformation of her sight. Jesus said to her, just one word, "Mary." She's turned and said to him, "Rabboni." Just one word. The Vox Christi is not a series of words. It's just one word, your name that he calls. If you're looking for him, if you want to find him, listen with your ears. When he calls your name, your sight will be transformed. And now that stranger in the garden is now recognized because the Good Shepherd has called her name. This word that she said in verse 18, "I have seen the Lord," is the word heraka. Heraka is abiding sight. It means I've seen it and now it becomes part of me. Abiding sight. Upon hearing her name, she announces, "I have seen the Lord. I have heraka the Lord." John uses the perfect tense here to declare an abiding, lasting sight. The resurrection did not just give us something new to look at. It transformed her entire epistemology. The way that she thinks, the way that she formulates her worldview. Let's go back to verse 17. Jesus said to her, "Do not cling to me." The old localized way, the way that we relate to Jesus in the old way is now gone. Do not cling to me. Do not hold on to me. We do not relate to each other this way anymore. This way of relating to him is passing. He is ascending to the Father. He may be presented in the Spirit to everyone in every places. This is the first time when he said, "My Father and your Father. My God and your God." A new creation, a new way of relating to God. Now, we have walked through with the disciples and with Mary, and this is where we are. Our journey to see the Lord is not more evidence, more data, but it is the heart searching, wanting to find him. And when we do, our sight will be transformed when we hear, when we linger. Just linger a little bit, and you will hear the voice of Christ speaking to your heart. Your eyes will be open. You will see the Lord. Are you still staring at the cloth? Nothing makes any sense. Every church day is the same. There's no miracles, no miraculous. The cloth that we see, the vision that we have needs to be transformed by hearing God's voice. Linger a little bit. Jesus will speak to you if you come there looking for him. If you are there looking for him. The resurrection has not merely opened the tomb. It opens our eyes. Unlike Mary, the other disciples, when they did not see what they were looking for, meaning Jesus, they went to their homes. When Mary, when her eyes were open, she became a witness, became the evidence of Christ's resurrection. And in the end, Mary went and announced to the disciples. When we saw Mary in the beginning, she went to the disciples looking for answers. And at the end here, Mary became the witness. She came to the disciples to tell them, "I have seen the Lord." The Lord used Mary, not his disciples, to announce his resurrection. It is not how much you know. It is how you love.